Hello students, welcome to today's biology class. I am Mrs.SUJA Shaju. In the previous class, we discussed about two phylums, that is phylum Porifera and phylum Ctenophora. Now in today's class, we will discuss about the next two phylums, that is phylum Coelenterata and phylum Platyhelminthes. I hope you remember the names of all the phylums in order. Just let us recollect all the phylums in order. The first phylum, phylum Porifera. Second one, phylum Coelenterata. Third one, phylum Ctenophora. Fourth one, phylum Platyhelminthes. Fifth one, phylum Aschelminthes. Sixth one, phylum Annelida. Seventh, phylum Arthropoda. Eighth, phylum Mollusca. Ninth, phylum Echinodermata. 10th, phylum Hemichordata. And the last phylum, phylum Chordata. Now, today's class, let us discuss first phylum Coelenterata. Phylum Coelenterata is also known as phylum Cnidaria. Coelenterata, in fact, is an old term. Nowadays, the most common term is phylum Cnidaria. Now, there is a reason why these members this phylum got its name as Coelenterata. They got its name as Coelenterata because of a particular feature, that is, they have a hollow gut. Gut means alimentary canal. I hope you have studied these terms, alimentary canal and gut. Right. So, the phylum Coelenterata, they have a hollow gut, and this hollow gut is called as coelenteron. So Coelenterates got its name Coelenterata because of the presence of coelenteron. Hope it's clear? Now the phylum Coelenterata now is known as phylum Cnidaria because of the presence of a specialized cells called as cnidoblast. Cnidoblast are specialized cells found only in this members which come under this phylum, that is phylum Coelenterata or phylum Cnidaria. So why were they called as coelenterates? Because of the presence of coelenteron. Coelenteron means hollow gut. And they got its name as Cnidaria because of the presence of cnidoblast. Okay, now let's see what are the features of this phylum Coelenterata. The first feature, they are multicellular organisms. I hope you know the meaning of multicellular. That is, they have number of cells, and these cells, they join together. Group of these cells join together to form tissues which perform a particular function. So, the members of this phylum exhibit tissue grade of organization. So, they are multicellular organisms with tissue grade of organization. Hope you understood the first characteristic feature. The second characteristic feature, the members of this phylum, they exhibit radial symmetry. I hope you all remember what is radial symmetry. What is radial symmetry? The body can be divided into two equal halves by any plane passing through the center. Then, another important feature is they are diploblastic. Diploblastic means they have two embryonic layers, outer ectoderm and outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. In between these two, that is ectoderm and endoderm. So ectoderm is made up of living cells, endoderm is made up of living cells, but in between these two, there is a non-living jelly-like layer which is called as, can you remember what is that name? Mesoglia. Okay, mesoglia is a non-living, non-cellular jelly-like layer. Okay, so in between ectoderm and endoderm, there is no living cell layer, but you find a non-living layer which is jelly-like, and that layer is called as mesoglia. So they have only two embryonic layers. That is why these organisms are called as diploblastic animals. Okay, now the ectoderm. Ectoderm means outer layer. It consists of specialized cells. These specialized cells are called as nidoblast. In the beginning I told you that is coelenterate got its name as nidaria because of the presence of these cells which are called as the nidoblast. These nidoblasts are also called as stinging cells. They are called as stinging cells. Now let's see the structure of a nidoblast. So look at the picture, look at the cursor. So here you can see this is one nidoblast, or nidoblast is also called, this nidoblast consists of, okay, so this is a nidoblast or a nidocyte, a cell. It consists of an outer capsule, right, outer capsule, and in the center they contain this outer capsule is called as the nematocyte or the stinging capsule. They contain a capsule which is called as nematocyte or stinging capsule. Now they are secreted. This nidoblasts are found in the tentacles as well as in the within the gut cavity. They are found in the tentacles as well as within the gut cavity. Now each of this, that is this nidoblast, they have a stinging cell. Right, they are called as stinging cells or the nidoblasts. Okay, nidoblasts are also called as stinging cells, and each of these nidoblasts have a particular structure by name, stinging thread, a thread which is wound. Here you can see a thread which is coiled and spirally coiled, right? And this thread is called as nidae. It's called as nidae, right? Now this nidae, what it does is, it has this nidae surrounded by a capsule and it has an opening called as a operculum. This is called as a operculum. It is a opening. Now, whenever there is a stimulus, a chemical stimulus or a mechanical stimulus, immediately what happens is this stinging cell will just burst out, or it just pops out through the operculum. You can see here. Okay, so the this will be first, you find when it is not excited or not stimulated, you find the thread spirally coiled. But when there is an external stimulus, it can be a chemical stimulus or a mechanical stimulus, immediately what happens is the mechanical sting just protrudes out, it just pops out and it penetrates the prey. When does it get stimulated? When a prey comes near it. Prey means the food of that. So when any other organism comes near it, what it does is it gets stimulated, the nidoblast gets stimulated, and immediately the thread just pops out, it comes out through the operculum and it penetrates the prey. And at the moment it penetrates the prey, it secretes a toxin into the body of the prey. Hope it's clear. So what happens whenever there is a prey nearby, or whenever there is a chemical stimulus or a mechanical stimulus, immediately the thread, which is the stinging thread, it pops out through the operculum of the nidoblast and it penetrates the prey and injects a toxin. This toxin paralyzes the prey. Because of this toxin, the prey cannot move. So easily it can take away, it can eat that prey, or it, suppose if it is an enemy. Sometimes it may be a predator also. So if it is an enemy, then also what happens? The enemy cannot attack the organism, that is an nidaria. Why? Because this sting, it penetrates the body and it paralyzes the prey, and thereby it can escape from that region. Okay, so where are the coelenterates usually found? They are found in water. Okay, I forgot to tell you that coelenterates are usually found in marine water. Okay, so coelenterates, they are called nidaria because of the presence of specialized cells, and these specialized cells are found on the outer layer, that is ectoderm layer. They are found even on the tentacles, and they contain stinging capsules or nematocytes, and the nematocytes, the capsule, inside the capsule there is a thread which pops out when it gets excited, and this thread, it penetrates the prey or the enemy and injects a toxin into their body so that the enemy or the prey gets immobilized. Since it is used for both defense as well as capture of prey. Okay, so it is used for defense, means against an enemy, and it is also used to capture the prey. So what are the functions of nidoblasts? They are used for defense against an enemy, for anchorage. Anchorage means just note the spelling. It is anchorage, A-N-C-H-O. It's not encourage, right? Anchorage. Anchorage means it to get attached to. Okay, so the nidoblasts are used for defense, anchorage, as well as for capture of prey. Hope you understood the features of Coelenterata. So once again, these are the basic features. Still we have some more features to study. So once again, let us fast recollect. First point is, they are multicellular organisms with tissue grade of organization. They are radially symmetrical. They are diploblastic. They have two layers, that is outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. The endoderm consists of specialized cells called nidoblasts or stinging cells. They contain stinging capsules or nematocytes. Nidoblasts are used for defense, anchorage, and for capture of prey. Hope it's clear? Right. Now let's see the remaining points. They possess a gastrovascular cavity, a very important feature of coelentrates. That is, this is a section of a hydra. You must have heard about hydra, right? So here you can see, look at the cursor, all of you. So here you can see, if you take a section of the hydra, you can see there is a cavity inside, middle cavity. This cavity is called as gastrovascular cavity. And this gastrovascular cavity has a single opening. This is the mouth, and this mouth is found on a raised portion, and that raised portion is called as hypostome. Okay, so that is another feature of Coelenterata. They possess a gastrovascular cavity with a single opening mouth on hypostome. Hope you got it right. So here you can see some of the examples. One is hydra, then you can see jellyfish. Here you can see physalis, which is a Portuguese man of war. It's called as Portuguese man of war due to a certain reason. So here in the picture you can see there is a gas-filled bladder. So actually the organism is this one, but it has a gas-filled bladder which sits over the water, which will be floating over the water, and it resembles a warship, and that is why it is called as Portuguese man of war. It is found in Indian Ocean, it is found in Pacific Ocean, and so on. Okay, so because of the presence of this gas-filled bladder, which is called as a pneumatophore, it is called as Portuguese man of war. The scientific name is physalis. Hope you got it right. Now let's see another important feature of coelentrates. Very important feature. These coelentrates, they possess two body forms. They are found in two forms. Some are cylindrical in shape, whereas some are umbrella shaped. Okay, so some are cylindrical in shape. The cylindrical shaped coelentrates, they are stationary. They will be found attached to some substratum. Whereas the medusae are free floating forms. They are umbrella shaped and they are free floating forms. Now, so hydra is an example for a polyp, right? Whereas jellyfish is an example for medusae. You must have observed that in the previous slide when I showed you the picture, right? Here you can see. So this is a cylindrical form, whereas this one is umbrella shaped, isn't it? This is an umbrella shaped form. So this is medusae and this is an example for polyp. Okay, but there are certain other coelentrates which exhibit both the forms. For example, obelia. Obelia exhibit an alternation of generation. It exhibits both the forms during its life cycle. During some time of its life cycle, it will be found in polyp form, whereas some other time it will be found in medusae form. Hope you got it. Example is obelia. Okay, so obelia, I'll show you that picture. So this is a picture of obelia, and during its life cycle, you find at some stage it will be found in the polyp form. Here you can see this is a polyp form. Okay, and this polyp form later from the polyp form, asexually the polyp produces medusae. You know that there are two types of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So asexually the polyp produces medusae and medusae reproduces sexually and form polyp. So what's the main difference between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction, gametes are not formed, whereas in sexual reproduction, gametes are formed. So the polyp is a asexual form and it reproduces asexually to produce medusae. Look at the cursor. So here these are umbrella shaped, whereas this is cylindrical in shape. So from a cylindrical shaped polyp, umbrella shaped medusae will be formed. The medusae produces what? Gametes. What are the gametes? The male gametes and the female gamete. They fuse to form zygote. Zygote later develops into the polyp form, which is the stationary form or the cylindrical form. Hope it's clear. So this alternation of generation exhibited by certain coelenterates, right? That is called as metagenesis. What is that? Metagenesis. So you may get a question. What is metagenesis? What is metagenesis? The alternation of generation between polyp and medusae found in some coelenterates, not in all coelenterates. All coelenterates do not possess metagenesis. It is exhibited only by certain coelenterates. Example is Obelia. Okay, so what is metagenesis? The answer is the alternation of generation between polyp and medusa found in some coelenterates. It's called as metagenesis. Now, polyp produces medusae asexually and medusae produces polyp sexually. Hope it's clear. So that is all about the characteristic features of coelenterata. So again here you can see the examples as I've already explained. This is Physalia, which is also called as Portuguese man of war, and this is Obelia. Okay, so here you can see this is a polyp. It produces that umbrella shaped form. Fine. Okay, so that is all about phylum Coelenterata. Now let us discuss about the next phylum, that is phylum Platyhelminthes. Platy means flat, right? Flat. These are, helminthes is the term for worms. Okay, so the platyhelminthes commonly called as flat worms. Now why are they called as flat worms? Because of dorso-ventrally flattened body. It's a main feature, dorso-ventrally flattened body. What does it mean? The dorsal side and the ventral side both are flat. Okay, you will not find any bulge. It is completely flat. The dorsal side and the ventral side is flat. That is why they are called as flat worms. Okay, they are commonly called as flat worms. Remember that. I forgotten to mention that point over here. So you have to mention that phylum Platyhelminthes also called as flat worms. FLAT, flat worms, because of the presence of dorso-ventrally flattened body. Now, they are mostly endoparasites. I hope you know the meaning of parasites. What are parasites? Parasites are organisms which depend on other living organisms for their food. Right? Now, there are different types of parasites. Some parasites are found outside the body, living outside the body of the other organism. Some parasites are found inside the body of the other organism. I can give you a very good example. Right? Lice. Have you heard about lice? LICE. The small worms which are found on the hair, especially of girls, right? They are found outside the body of human beings, right? That is an ectoparasite which is found outside the body. Okay. The same way, if you have pet dogs at home, in between the fur, in between the hair of the doggies or puppies, you will find small insects, right? That is an ectoparasite. At the same time, inside our body, there are number of worms, number of bacteria which live inside our body. They are called as endoparasites. Hope you understood the difference between ectoparasite and endoparasite. Whether they are ecto or endo, they are parasites. What are parasites? They depend on other living organisms for their food. Okay, right. Now, so Platyhelminthes members are endoparasites. Now let's see what are their features. So previous phylum, we saw that they are radially symmetrical. That is phylum Coelenterata and phylum Ctenophora. Both are radially symmetrical. Now from phylum Platyhelminthes onwards, we find bilateral symmetry. Hope you remember what is bilateral symmetry. What is that? The body can be divided into two equal halves by a single plane passing through median longitudinal axis. isn't it? Right. So bilaterally symmetrical. Now comes triploblastic. So phylum Coelenterata as well as phylum Ctenophora, they were diploblastic. Now begins triploblastic animals. That is, triploblastic means they have three embryonic layers: outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm. They are acoelomates. What are acoelomates? Organisms which do not have a body cavity lined by mesoderm. So they are acoelomates. Even though they have a mesoderm, they do not have a body cavity. And they have organ level of organization. So level of organization is organs. Organs are found but not organ systems. All the organ systems are not well developed. Hope it's clear? Right. So they are bilateral symmetrical, they are triploblastic, they are acoelomates, and they exhibit organ level of organization. Now the unique feature, flame cells. A specialized type of cells called as flame cells are found in platyhelminthes members. Now what is the function of flame cells? So here in this picture you can see this is a flame cell, right? And its function, it acts as a kidney. Its function is to remove the waste materials from the body. Okay, so the function of flame cell is it helps in excretion as well as osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means removal of excess water from the body. Osmoregulation means removal of excess water from the body. So flame cells are the specialized cells which are mainly found in phylum Platyhelminthes. You may get a question. Name the phylum in which flame cells are found. Your answer will be phylum Platyhelminthes. Hope it's clear? Right. Now, another important feature is the worms which come under this phylum, they have specialized structures to derive the food. Right? Because they are endoparasites. They cannot prepare their own food. So they have to depend on other organisms for their food. That is why they are called as parasites. So in order to take that food, in order to derive the food from the host, they have specialized structures. And these structures are called as hooks and suckers. They have hooks as well as suckers to derive the food from the host. Hope it's clear? Right. Then the next point. Some members of this phylum, for example, planaria, you have to remember this name, planaria. They exhibit high regeneration capacity. What's the meaning of regeneration? If you cut that planaria into pieces, each piece will again develop into the whole organism. That is called as high regeneration capacity. Okay, so that is another important feature of this phylum. Not all the members, only some members. Okay, now what are the examples of this phylum Platyhelminthes? First example is tapeworm. Another one is liver fluke. Another one is planaria. So I'll show you the pictures. So this is tapeworm. Where is it found? It is normally found in human intestine or the intestine of some animals, right? Especially in pork and all that. Tapeworm. So here you can see this is the head region of the tapeworm. Here you can see hooks, and these are the suckers. So hooks and suckers to derive the food. Then this is planaria, which has high regeneration capacity. This is liver fluke. That is parasitic fluke, liver fluke. So liver fluke is it is a parasite found in sheep. Okay, so these are some of the examples of flatworms. Hope you got it. So once again, let us fast recollect the points, the features of phylum Platyhelminthes one by one. First one, Platyhelminthes members are commonly called as flatworms. Why? Because of the presence of dorso-ventrally flattened body. Right? Then they are endoparasites found inside the body of other organisms. Then the common features, that is, they are bilaterally symmetrical, they exhibit organ level of organization, they are triploblastic, and they are acoelomates. The word acoelomate is very important. Why I have highlighted that point here is because you may get a question. Name the what are acoelomates? Give examples. Right? Only one phylum, that is phylum Platyhelminthes. Okay. Then there are specialized cells which help in excretion and osmoregulation. They are called as flame cells. Then they have specialized organs to derive the food. They are hooks and suckers. Then some members like planaria, they exhibit high regeneration capacity. Okay, so and the examples, remember the examples, which are the examples? Tapeworm, planaria, and liver fluke or parasitic fluke. Hope you got it. Okay. So in today's class, we discussed what all did we discuss? We discussed about two phylums, phylum Coelenterata and phylum Platyhelminthes. Hope you all understood what we discussed today. Thank you.